If you want to find your true purpose in this life, but you're feeling kind of lost right now, and you're feeling like no matter how much you're trying, nothing ever seems to work, then this video is gonna be perfect for you. What I wanna do with this video is give you 4 chapters to focus on in your journey so that you can actually get closer to your true desire and to your true purpose in this life. We're going to start with self-reflection. And before you dive into anything in this life, you need to look within. Before you commit to something big, before trying to build anything, you need to look within and deconstruct your entire identity, break it down and analyze what exactly are you good at? What is your passion? Do you have a passion? Have you found it yet? What are your strengths, your weaknesses? Break down your entire character. And you can even list these out. I see a lot of people nowadays, they just don't self-reflect. And I think that's because we're so distracted by social media and everything that's going on, whether it's politics or the war or whatever it is. We're so distracted that we rarely take time to actually look within. And the number one thing that you need to actually find your purpose is solitude. It's time for you to sit with yourself and look yourself in the mirror. And I know that's the hardest thing to do, right? It's easier to just go on your phone, scroll on TikTok and just be distracted. It's really hard to lock in and self-analyze. But if you want to find your purpose, that's something you cannot neglect. And when I look at people nowadays, that's the number one thing that comes to mind. They don't ever self-reflect. They don't ever think about the why of their actions. How can you actually find your purpose in this life? How can you move with intention if you don't know why you're doing the things you're doing? If you don't know why you have the belief system that you have? Who told you to believe in the things that you believe in? Who told you to do the things? Who told you you gotta go to college? You gotta do this, you gotta do that? Who told you you gotta start a family by the age of 35 or whatever it is? Who told you these things? And so take time to stop and question everything, self-reflect, and look at the things you're actually passionate about in your soul. And to succeed with this, you have to leave money out of the equation. Don't focus on the money. Pretend you have infinite amounts of money. Have that abundance mindset with this and be like, okay, so if money wouldn't be an issue, what would I do 24/7? What would actually light that fire in me, that powerful flame that would keep me going? And unless you answer these questions for yourself, it ain't gotta be for anyone else, you're not gonna be able to find that purpose that you're looking for. And one other thing that's really gonna help with this is you taking a look back at your journey. This is something that I've been doing as well. And I look at that kid who was really creative, who had no idea what was coming, but who had that energy in him. He wanted to create stuff. He wanted to build. He didn't want to be average. He knew deep down that he wasn't born to be average. I knew deep down I was made for something greater. I was made to build something bigger than myself and not to conform to the society bullshit standards, to the fact that, oh, you need a 9 to 5, you need to go to college, you need to follow their plan. I've always had that feeling deep within. And so what helps me now to get even closer to my purpose is to take a look at that kid, because that kid has something that you're missing, that you and I are missing. The spirit of freedom that we're losing as we're growing up. We tend to forget the dreams. We tend to forget the aspirations that we had as kids. But those are so important because, like I said, when we were young, we had that freedom. Did you notice that right now you have so many more limitations that you're creating within your mind when comparing it to the time when you were kids? Like when you were a kid, you don't really give a crap. Like the world is your playground. So this is what you got to do. Connect with that kid within you to get closer to what you truly desire. The next chapter is something that I like to call your mission statement. So this is basically your reason for doing anything in this world. Like, what's your actual mission. And to find this, I'm gonna give you a practical exercise, actually 2 exercises. And the first one is called Ikigai. This is a Japanese concept which basically means your reason for being. And I'm gonna put the drawing somewhere on the screen, but basically with this, you need to list out some things that you love, that you're really passionate about, some things that you're really good at, the things that the world needs, and also some things that you believe you can be paid for. And at the intersection of all of these things, it's your Ikigai. This is your reason for being. And this basically defines your mission statement. So to make this relatable to you, I'm gonna give you my own example. I've always been creative. I've always been really good at building and designing. I've always been good with people. I've always had a charisma, like an energy. But then later in life, I noticed that as I started my creative agency, as I started my e-learning platform, I've noticed that my true gift and the thing that I can truly be paid for is talking to people and actually helping them, being there for them and providing value, as in helping them build their personal brands, a brand that makes a difference, helping people find their voice. So my mission statement is helping people build profitable personal brands. And so the Ikigai exercise, that's what it's gonna do for you. It's gonna help you define that mission statement and basically your core drive for doing anything in this life. And the second exercise that's gonna help you with this is what I call the 5-year reflection. So basically with this, you take a look at the last 5 years of your life and you think about the lessons that you've learned, the stories that truly changed you, what kind of pain you've gone through. You make a list of that, and then basically now you're the expert. Today you get to give yourself from 5 years ago advice. So defining your mission statement is going to allow you to move with clarity in life and actually get closer to what you're meant to do. And now that you found your mission statement, it's obviously time to set goals. This is huge because, again, I see people walking through life without a clear destination in mind of where they want to go. How are you supposed to get there if you don't know the destination? And the key thing when it comes to goals is being able to dream. Being able to dream as big as possible. The most successful people in this world dared to dream big. If you don't dare to have like a big vision, a vision that would almost make everyone in your life be like, yeah, he's insane, then what are you doing? How are you supposed to find that thing that truly lights the flame within you? And as Michelangelo famously says, the greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. And this quote stuck with me ever since I was a kid. I've always had this in mind. That's why I was this like big dreamer. Ever since I first sat in a car, I've dreamed about a Lamborghini. I've dreamed about like the fast cars. Ever since I discovered music, I dreamed about becoming the greatest artist ever because that was a huge part of my life. And then later when I got into business, I envisioned the biggest, the most successful creative agency there is. And then when I dropped my businesses and then I started my personal brands, I envisioned myself reaching hundreds of thousands of people, and that is currently happening. And so every single thing that I've told myself that I want to do has happened without exception. Like if you actually put your mind to something, if you create your vision board, if you set those goals for you, as high as possible, despite the people trying to bring you down, because that only makes them uncomfortable. Like the dream is never too big. It's just that the person that you tell it to is too small. Their mind is not ready to comprehend that vision because they don't see what you see. So if you have the vision, don't let others bring your dreams down. And I'm not just telling you to write down your goals, make this like crazy vision board and just dream and things will happen. No, I'm saying that you need to take action as well. And this is the final chapter, the 4th chapter. Most people get stuck here. They might have their vision, they might have their dreams. Because see, everybody could dream of being a lawyer, of being a doctor, of being a singer, an actor, a business, like whatever. Everybody could dream. Everybody could say, I wish I had that car. I dream of getting that. But not everybody can actually take the action, like the necessary steps to actually get to where they want to get to. Because most people get paralyzed by their fear of failure so much. And if you're one of them, you got to realize you're just stopping yourself. No one else in this life is actually stopping you. And unless, you're from a really unfortunate environment and background, which you can also change. But unless you're in a really extreme situation, you, for the most part, you can change it for the better. It's just that your fear and that part of you who constantly sabotages you, that runs your life. And it shows because, again, I've seen a lot of dreamers. I've seen a lot of people who just have ideas, like amazing ideas, who can be, the most talented people who never take action. And therefore, they never find their true purpose in life because action solves everything. You taking action, you trying out different businesses, different things, going on different quests, like in a video game and exploring the map, talking to different people, getting mentors, getting coaches. Only this will get you closer to what it is that you truly long for in your soul. So many people in this life, they're doing things, even if they, make a lot of money, that are not really aligned with their soul, with their values, with their principles. And that's why I've always said there's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5, like a job. There's nothing wrong with going to college, even though I dropped out and I thought it was just the worst thing ever for me personally. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. It's just that you have to identify, does this thing that I want to do or that I'm thinking of doing, does this truly align with my soul? And if it doesn't, that just means that you're selling your soul. And it sounds crazy, but it's not. It's the truth. It's what most people are going through because they never take action. They're getting distracted. They're sitting on their phone, constantly scrolling. And then they see someone actually doing something with their lives, actually building, actually living the life that they could live. But deep down, it just eats them alive because they know, even though they could live that life, they know they're not ready to take action and they don't actually want it that bad. Ask yourself this, do I really how bad do I actually want this thing in my life? How bad do I want to find my purpose? Am I willing to go through the fire, go through all of this process, which is going to be painful? You're going to try things, you're going to fail, you're going to learn, you're going to take risks, they're not going to pay off. You're going to work so hard without actually getting paid. You're going to sacrifice a lot. You're going to remove yourself from the world and embrace solitude and look within. You're going to self-reflect. And that comes with loneliness. You're going to go through so many different things. But the question that I have for you right now at the end is, do you actually want it that bad? Be really raw and honest with yourself and use these 4 chapters in your journey to find that purpose and to live a life with intention. And most importantly, leave something behind. Create your legacy and truly make a difference in this world.